for peace, and I scream for love and love of community.
I consider myself a peacemaker. I like to blow peace bubbles. I like bubbles instead of bullets.
In a world that's often hurried and hardened, Elder Melvin Giles chose another way. He walked gently through the streets of St. Paul's, Rondo, and Frogtown neighborhood, not with noise and fanfare. He simply walked with a wand in his hand and bubbles in the air. Some called him an apostle of urban garden. Others referred to him as a peace ambassador. To many, Elder Melvin was simply the bubble man.
Melvin was such a kind and thoughtful man. We just saw him not too long before he passed, and he made us go give a yogurt parfait, which was the snack that we had made during that Wednesday session, to one of the women who lives across the street. And Melvin frequently kind of pushed us past our comfort zones to go meet new people in the community.
I remember last summer we were made to weed this woman's yard that we had zero idea who was, but she was Melvin's friend, so she was like a friend of ours because of that, and that shows the person that Melvin was and how he just really did bring everyone together.
Melvin was somebody who taught me that being in right relationship with the people around you and all the living things around you was the most important part of life. It was the most sacred part of life. And I think now, when times get hard, what I feel like is that fractured relationship. I feel that loss of sacredness. And whenever I was around Melvin, he was able to remind me to seek that. And if you seek it, you're gonna find it. And his grounded presence reminded me that as long as I'm being in right relationship with myself and those around me, that I'll always be on the right path.
He was a gentle force of joy, a gentle force of peace. And he strongly believed that a simple breath, blowing bubbles, could change the world.
I met Melvin through the urban farm community. I've always been inspired by how he is so intentional in cultivating and creating community spaces with one another. And I'll never be able to see a bubble the same way. And I hope that we can continue his legacy of just being ourselves together. And yeah, we'll miss you, brother.
I met Melvin in June of 2022. And I came thinking I was going to volunteer for an afternoon in the children's program at the Peace Sanctuary Garden. And I haven't stopped. Melvin's legacy is it's in the air, and it's in the birds and the fireflies that visited us this night. And so it's not really saying goodbye. I think it's finding those people whose souls he's touched, and it's bringing those people closer into the orbit that Melvin sustained.
Gardens were not just a place to grow food. He considered gardens as a sacred ground to sow healing. Raised beds became acts of resistance, peace poles, beacons of hope. His legacy stretches far beyond gardens, into the hearts of those he taught to listen, to laugh, and to believe in peace.
My history with Melvin begins in the early 2000s. There was something about this person across the hall. I had to get to know him. And so we connected, and then as an artist I brought some public art projects, engagement with the people to the peace celebration. And then I ended up on the planning committee. Melvin opened up this community to me that I didn't know was there. It was like making sense. This is a beloved community. These are people with heart here. Melvin opened this up to me.
In 1997, after a tragedy struck the Frogtown neighborhood, Elder Melvin helped to spark off a movement. The Community Peace Celebration was born, an annual gathering of healing, of songs, dance, festivities that involved everybody in the neighborhood, no matter their age. A festival that, until this day, dances to his rhythm.
This year, Metric invited me to join in on the Community Peace Garden, which had brought a lot of people together. I've met some really neat people, and in the meeting as well as in the community, and Melvin was one of them. And one thing that I could say that he taught me was, if I do my job, don't worry about everybody else. And he just let me know, as long as I did my job, everything would be okay, and for me to just sit back.
I've known Melvin since mid-2000s, where we first worked together in an organization called Gardening Matters a long, long time ago. And it's been a many-year journey together, working in urban spaces. Melvin and his personality and being able to connect all of us together around that theme. We'll never, I don't think that will ever end. It's just going to continue going forth because he's built such a grand network of growers and community members.
I knew Melvin for since probably 2016. My boss sent me to go meet with Melvin. And when I met with him, I was like, I already know him. He lives across the street. I didn't know what he did. But then I got to find out more about him with UFGA and becoming a member. It has been one of the best experiences that I've had, like learning about, the ground, the dirt, the different lessons that he gave me and mostly everyone. One of mine is that I think was the most was forgiveness and learning how to forgive people for real, to be able to have your own peace.
I remember during the planning for the 29th Annual Community Peace Celebration, he had a kind of urgency to get things done. Even those who were being recognized, he wanted things to be done. He just had the kind of urgency that don't leave it for tomorrow. If you think about it, do it now.
I met Melvin about 10 years ago at Bethel University. I actually met him through Metric, who was giving a guest lecture over there, and then he introduced me to Melvin and brought me over to St. Paul to help work on the Community Peace Celebration several years ago. And Melvin did teach me a lot. He tolerated me long enough so that I could stick around and learn something from him, and he helped slow my train down a little bit, helped me think about listening a little more intently and trying to synthesize what other people have to share and trying to meld it all together. But through all of it, there was a sense of peace and calm. And even when things are chaotic, he made me feel like, yeah, everything's going to be all right.
Melvin, since I know him, it's not a long time ago, but I feel like I know him since, he's a father that I lost 25 years ago. Keep the peace, that's purpose. I have it in my car. I give it to people when they are mad or upset. That is what I'm going to tell him. He told my kid, this is my daughter. He told my kids, blow bubbles, not bullets. Keep the bubbles.
He would refer to peace pools as his time-traveling vehicles, and he would call the bubbles the fuel. He was a very likable person.
I met Melvin in 2017 as part of my PhD work on soils and urban farms and gardens. And he just invited me right in to Rondo, to the gardens, to dreaming about what our relationships could be with each other and with plants and soil. I will never forget coming to the Peace Sanctuary Garden with my trunk full of collards and just being like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these, Melvin. And we just walked up and down the street handing out bunches of collards to the funeral home and to neighbors. And that's what I'm going to take with me, is just almost like sharing beyond reason and caring beyond reason and loving beyond reason, because that is what is going to keep us together.
To speak with Elder Melvin was to feel seen, to feel heard. To walk with him was to slow down. Be in the moment, be in the present, be with us. To hear him was to be reminded, breathe in, breathe out, be human first.
Melvin truly changed the whole trajectory of my life. He came at a moment when I was really confused and disoriented with the world and with myself, and what he taught was me to just come back home to myself and to what was around me. And there's so much, but I will forever be indebted to you, Melvin, and I miss you terribly, and I don't actually believe that you're gone, because in so many ways you live everywhere. But I love you.
Elder Melvin's legacy is not in one title. It's not in one event. It's not in one organization. It's not in one movement. It's the countless gardens he helped bloom. The gardens he planted, not just in the streets, not just in the neighborhoods, but the gardens he planted in the hearts, in the souls of thousands of people who were opportuned to cross paths with him. In the quiet moments where joy prevailed and peace was chosen. Elder Melvin's legacy lies in every bubble rising skyward, in every community that dares to dream. And if we can only do these things, then Elder Melvin lives on. Just at this time, nothing bounds him, not by time. And if only we can carry little pieces of Elder Melvin in our hearts, if only we can nurture the little seeds that he planted in our hearts, take those breaths that he believed can change the world, and continue to rise those bubbles upward, then I tell you, Elder Peace will live on eternally.